Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. I am not going to beat around the bush here. That was an absolute disgrace, disgusting performance from Chelsea. And I think, importantly as well, I've praised Maresca a lot. I really like our manager. I'm not going to sit here and say to you, fire him after losing in the Carabao Cup. But I feel as though it's a little bit disrespectful to the Carabao Cup, to Newcastle, to the travelling Chelsea fans that have spent their hard-earned money going all the way to Newcastle to not only see such a feeble performance from the B team, from the second-string side, but to watch what you're seeing as the Chelsea manager from the sidelines, to have the best player in the world on the bench, to have a young striker like Marc Guiu who tries really hard, who fights, to have these players not even come on, to have Ben Chilwell, who has won a Champions League for this club, not come on. To have Chukwuemeka, a really good player that can make things happen, not come on. I feel like it's disrespectful. I feel like the way that we have just let this game go is an absolute joke. And I think, to be honest, I think that every single travelling fan should be reimbursed by the club for that. And as the game's going on, you're looking at it, and Newcastle are there, defending back in this 5-4-1 formation. You know what you're going to come up against. When you concede 2 goals the way that we did, it's an absolute shambles from the defence. I think Jorgensen today has made me look like a little idiot for asking him to be in the team over Sanchez because, to be fair, the distribution is no better. The saving potential, no better from what we saw today. Overall, I never want to see that Chelsea lineup again. I cannot believe that Axel Disasi still gets in this team. We are trying to get Josh Achampong to sign a new contract, but because he's not signing a new contract, because Disasi plays at right back ahead of him, he can't even be in the squad. This is when it amplifies all of these bigger problems. Newcastle today, they came out there, they started the game, and you could tell from as soon as the Chelsea players went into their shape, where you've got Renato Vega in midfield, a left back playing in the right half space in midfield. Why? I don't get it. Marc Cucurella, again, inverting into midfield. The only player today, by the way, that could actually hold his head semi-high and walk off the pitch is Marc Cucurella. I thought Cucurella played well. I thought Felix had a good first half. He was getting shots away. But we've got to talk here about the Chelsea goals that we've conceded, because Benoit Badiashile, I was excited to see him play. I gave him credit. I praised him. I said, from what I saw against Panathinaikos, what we saw at Liverpool when he came on, I was like, yeah, Benoit Badiashile, come on, mate, let's give it a go. We look like we've got that Rolls-Royce defender back again. No, we absolutely don't. He was probably the worst performance I've seen from him. And there's been a list of these bad performances. Disasi can't get his feet right and kicks it in his own net. Chelsea are 2-0 down. And when it comes to creating opportunities, you've got your central midfielder who cost you 100 million quid constantly giving the ball away. You've got free kicks going in. What? Why are you crossing? Why are Chelsea today going back to putting crosses in the box against a team that beat us for height every single time? It makes no sense what I have witnessed tonight from Chelsea. And I would never normally say that, you could actually say that we've thrown it away. You could actually say that we don't care about it and we wanted to lose. But honestly, if you watch that Chelsea performance, you look at the lack of activity with substitutions, and no one can say that you're foolish for suggesting that Chelsea wanted to lose that. Genuinely. I genuinely feel as though as the game went on, my blood was boiling. I'm like, I've got mates that are in that away end right now, and they've got to go to work. They go to work tomorrow. They've taken a day off work. They're not going to get paid. Like, it's mad. It's absolutely mad that the manager can watch that happen before our very eyes from minute 1 to minute 90, leave the best player in the world on the bench, leave other creative players on the bench, have 2 goalkeepers there. Like, what? Do we even care about this? I said in the pre-match build-up, in the preview, that the Carabao Cup is an important competition. If Maresca wants to maintain this harmony in the squad, the B team players that think they should be A team players, but they're certainly not after today, if those players are playing in the Carabao Cup because we're progressing, in the Conference League because it's the Conference League, they're less likely to complain. There's less likely to be unrest and players giving him a hard time. But I've been using the phrase about knocking on the door this season. No one today knocked on the door, apart from Cucurella, but he didn't need to knock because he should already be in the house in the first place. But we begin here with the boxes. We've got to talk about this here. Benoit Badiashile is a red. The Monaco disaster class continues. Benoit Badiashile tonight, we didn't see any composure on the ball. I think what we learned is that the Conference League, the opposition is very weak. I think if Newcastle were in there, they'd be joint favourites with Chelsea. We've played against Barrow, Servette, Ghent, Panathinaikos, which has made, potentially, some of these B-team players look a lot better than they actually are. For me, it's the way that Badiashile, he's always got his arm over a player. The way that Chelsea tonight could have conceded 5 or 6 goals and no one could have said Newcastle didn't deserve it because of the way that we're constantly chasing shadows. It was an absolute disaster. Box number 2 is a red for Axel Disasi. This guy, sometimes, genuinely, I don't know how he's a footballer at times. This season, when I've seen Disasi play against Bournemouth, he's on the floor, he's rolling around, he's falling over. It's embarrassing to think that we spent 40 million on Cole Palmer and we spent the same on Axel Disasi. It makes you wonder, as much as we can't, just go straight into criticising the ownership here. This isn't on the owners. But what is on the owners is the fact that we have, as well as we've spent really well on certain players, we've wasted money on this guy. We've absolutely wasted 40 million on Disasi that we could have spent on getting a really top goalkeeper in. When we've got 11 goalies at the club, but none of them are good enough. We have the number 1 from last season, sent him to Strasbourg. I'm not just going to keep reeling off here all of the things I don't like, because that would be too easy to have a Carabao Cup last 16 defeat against Newcastle, and then just start talking about everything else that isn't to do with the game. But it does make you wonder. It really does make you wonder. I don't know how Disasi can be in this team again. And look, if I was JustACoupleGs, I'd be going up to Maresca and being like, look, I watched that game last night. Did I see anything from Axel Disasi which makes me the player that shouldn't be getting minutes for Chelsea? Absolutely not. If you're going to rest the captain, Reece James, you're going to rest Malo Gusto, you don't put Disasi in this team again. You absolutely do not. Moving into box number 3, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Now, I've been happy for Dewsbury-Hall. I think he's been improving slowly when we've seen him out there. But he's not a right winger. And this is another reason why I think we've just thrown this game away today and didn't care about it whatsoever. Because if you watch that Dewsbury-Hall performance in that first half and think, well, yeah, we've got Noni Madueke on the bench. And, why was Noni not brought on at half-time? Dewsbury-Hall, that was an absolute stinker. Every time he got the ball, he never looked to beat his man. There's a shot in the first minute, and it's the tamest effort you'll ever see. I think he's even surprised that the ball's got to him. That was the best chance Chelsea had, was in minute number 1. Within 90 seconds, Dewsbury-Hall's got it. It's on his left foot at this point, which again, he's left-footed on the right. Got no pace to cut inside, by the way. None. What's the point in that? There's absolutely no point in this. Maresca today has got this wrong on so many levels. It was a shambles. Moving into box number 4. You guys are giving me stick for my Enzo Fernandez hate, right? But this isn't hate. This is calling a spade a spade. This is telling you how it is. If you watched that Enzo Fernandez performance tonight and you thought he was good, I'm sorry, we're watching a different game. Every time I watch Enzo Fernandez play, the first goal, I think it's Badiashile's fault. Vega obviously could be sharper, but Enzo Fernandez, instead of actually dealing with Sandro Tonali, who's pressing him and stepping into him, he's busy complaining about Badiashile making that pass. Is that what a captain should be doing when the danger's clearly not gone? No, it isn't. The corners, some of them pretty decent, but you're putting it right next to Nick Pope, and are the tall players there? No, Vega's just kind of stood there, and you can't put pressure on the keeper, crossing the ball over and over again into no one. How can you be a smart, intelligent footballer and keep seeing that what you're doing is garnering no results? Enzo Fernandez kept giving the ball away. We were overran. And to be honest, this proved tonight why Lavia and Caicedo have become the Chelsea midfield partnership in the Premier League, because these two are the best 2 midfielders we've got. Enzo Fernandez isn't at that level. I'm sorry. That's the truth in my eyes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Box number 5 is a red for Enzo Maresca because, look, I think the way that he's managed this game is awful from the start. The fact that we didn't make any halftime substitutions after the worst performance, even including the preseason games that I flew out to America and witnessed, that was the worst today. That was so bad. One substitution, leaving players that you've frozen out for whatever reason, I don't know if it's Maresca or the club, to leave Ben Chilwell, European Cup winner, on the bench, joke. To leave Chukwuemeka on the bench, a really good player, how people don't see this, I don't know, is a joke. To leave Cole Palmer on the bench is a tragedy. It is so unfair on those travelling Chelsea fans. The way that Maresca, you have managed this game tonight so badly, and I'm calling you out for it, for this game. I love what you've done. I love the way you are in press conferences. I like you as a manager. But tonight, that is not good enough. I do not stand for that whatsoever. Make changes and go for it. This is a competition I want to win. I don't want to see Chelsea knocked out after that feeble performance like that. I want to win this tournament. Absolute joke. And Nkunku is box number 6. I thought this was like prime Lukaku, but not prime Lukaku. Lukaku when he was a bad prime. Do you know what I mean? Literally, Lukaku had flipping 50-kilogram lead splints in his boots today, didn't he? Couldn't control the ball. Like, what was that? From a player that's got Nicholas Jackson bagging in every game. Playing incredibly well every game. Nkunku has just kept himself on the bench, at least for the next month. Like, I'm sorry. Everyone from Chelsea tonight, I thought Mudryk, there were moments maybe quite good. Cucurella, pretty good. Felix, first half, getting shots away. Make it awful. Awful second half. Chelsea today, absolutely shocking. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Please subscribe to GBFC. Follow my podcast. Follow my vlog channel if you want to watch something entertaining tomorrow because I'm uploading a new vlog. I can't believe how bad that was. I cannot believe it.